Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Chris McDonald Podcast. It is Wednesday, January 24th, 2024. That's right, 24 days into January. Wow, who can believe that? It's been an interesting uh, part of the year so far. A lot of cold weather today, 71 degrees outside, and I actually sweated when I ran today. It was very nice. Anyway, today we have the pleasure of interviewing a very good friend of mine, Margaret McGrath. Margaret was and is my health coach. 6 years ago, she put me on the road to good health. 6 years ago, I weighed 264 pounds. As of today, weighing in the afternoon, which is not a good idea, but I came in at 166. So I've lost about 115 total, and I've leveled off at about 100 pounds. So it's been a very good journey. And it's important in these journeys and everything to kind of look at things, to really analyze them as you go through. Found a little something for us to get us started with here on the podcast today. Let's face it, if you constantly find yourself in the midst of drama, bitterness, and conflict, it might be time to reflect inward. Often being at the center of such situations can indicate personal issues that need addressing. Working on your insecurities and understanding yourself better can lead to positive changes. When you focus on healing and discovering your true self, you'll likely notice a shift in your external environment for the better. It's about aligning your inner world with positivity, which then reflects in your interactions and experiences. Let me tell you, folks, when I was as big as I was, it was not a fun time, and I was not very, very happy. And it took a lot to get to that, to get to the place where I needed to get to. And so I'm, glad to have gotten to that place. Margaret has helped me to get to that place. And we've got her stuck over in the breakout in the room. So let me go get Margaret, and she will be here with us in just a second. Well, there is my good friend and the lovely lady herself, Miss Margaret Cilano McGrath. The C is C for Cilano, and it should be MSG because she's the safe part of MSG that would be good for you. But anyway, Margaret, very, very happy to have you with us today here on the program. You and I have a long, long history that goes back many, many years. And to start off with, I want to thank you for what you gave me, have done for me, and whatnot over the last, the last few years. It's been just a joy of doing it, just because of all the positivity that you've taught me. Our entrance today, I don't think you got to hear it, but working on your inner self, makes you better on working on your outer self. And that's one of the things in the optimal health program that you did teach me, on how to be a better person, how to set the goals, how to reach them, how not to live by the, live by the scale, not let it, determine everything. Small victories turn into major victories. So I guess to start with, tell us a little bit about you, what your background is, about how, what you used to do, because you can swing a pretty good tennis racket from what I understand. So just a little bit about you, where you're from, your family, etc.
Sure, thanks. And thanks for having me. I'm so thrilled to do this. If I could have a magic wand and have 2,000 clients just like you, who's now turned into a very dear friend, you were so coachable, you were so teachable, and you were so eager, not just to lose weight, which is always really kind of amazed me. Yes, it took you a little bit of time to do it, but once you started to have some small victories, you realized that it was so much more than that. And that's why it was such a joy to work with you. And you maybe didn't get it the first time. It took us a couple times to adjust and readjust, right? We'd get you going down the road and then we'd have to readjust. So it's been a joy to work with you. Again, like you said, my name's Margaret Cilano McGrath, and that's Cilano with a C. You're right. Um, and so I was born in upstate New York, Rochester, and raised in Tucson, Arizona. I played competitive tennis in high school and college, and anything with a racket and a ball, I'm obsessed with. Right now, I'm a pickleball crazy lady. I live in Southern California with my husband, and I have 3 beautiful kids. We live in South Orange County, and I've spent the last 15 years in the health and wellness community, really showing people how to not just lose weight, not just quick fix, but literally transform their health. And I think you should be the poster child for my business, because not only have you changed your healthy body, but also your healthy mind. And in your intro, Chris, one of the things that before my very eyes, they always say, who learns more, the teacher or the student? Well, you've taught me so much. You have become the dominant force in your own life. Instead of being reactive to the world, right, which is how you were when you came to me, reacting to situations and reacting and reacting, and I don't know, were you 80 or 90 pounds overweight, to now be a lean, mean, moving love machine and be the dominant force in your life. I mean, you are a true success story, and you would agree the journey continues, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's every day. We'll talk about this later on, but I mean, it's it's like the sobriety, I think I'm somewhere around 1,480 days, since I quit drinking, and that, and that's an everyday thing. Yeah. And the big thing is that you taught me, was, if you're doing this, you're doing it the right way. It's not going to be a struggle. It's just a change. You're making a change. I know they talk about it all, baby steps, walk of 1,000 miles, one step, stuff like that. But it's very true. One bite of the elephant. I mean, this could turn into the Chris McDonald Cliche Festival very easily. But the point is just that it's one step at a time. You didn't gain all that weight overnight. You didn't drink all that liquor overnight. You didn't do whatever overnight. This came off of some habits that you developed. They were bad habits. And I completely, admit it, with food, with booze and whatnot. And so that's what you have to unlearn. You have to unlearn your bad habits.
Right. Yep. And that is so well said. And even more appropriately, I probably could articulate it in that it's really about developing new habits. It's not about getting away from, the old habits that you had in your life. That's why it's healthy body, healthy mind. And I can remember the instant when I saw just a shift in not just what you were doing physically, the program that we laid out for you, because you did have a structured plan, but I saw a shift in your mindset when you finally realized that this was going to be a journey. It wasn't going to be a quick fix. You were going to need to do some work on the inside within your thought process and developing new. So you're moving closer towards health and not necessarily away from fat or unhealthy habits or disease. Right. You literally and you've done it so well, have brought, just transformed, your whole life. You brought health into your life, and you understand more than anything that, to your point, every day it takes mindfulness.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
And choices. And then you begin to understand how great it feels. I mean, think about when the first time we talked on the phone, think about that Chris, and think about this Chris, how much better you feel physically, but also mentally.
Oh, growth just, I mean, it's, it's like James Whitmore and his fertilizer he used to put on his plants, in the commercial, the Miracle Grow commercial. I mean, it is. I mean, it was, I mean, I certainly was full of fertilizer. I can tell you that much. No, it's the truth though, because um, it is a mindfulness thing. I want to put it this way. When I quit drinking, one thing that happened to me was, everything was kind of like this, and then when I quit drinking, it's like all these blinders and everything, and I got awareness, and I was able to see things so much clearer with all of the mess, the noise, whatever, the buzzword of the 2024 is now, that went away. And with that going away, it's the same thing with the weight loss. It went, everything went away. All the, and I started paying attention to portions. I started paying attention to, um, how much what I was consuming, what I should consume, what I shouldn't consume. How many times a day I was eating.
Yep.
Keeping that metabolism burning, that coal and that metabolism burning 24/7. I mean,
Yep.
that's where this all comes in. But it's a mindfulness. If you once you can get a hold of that, and then awareness, you have got it made.
Yep. And I want to address this because I know a lot of people that know you, they know that you're an amazing athlete, that
Ah,
you're, a
thank
runner
you.
and a golfer. And I really want to stress, and maybe you can like probably speak to that a little bit, is the running and the athletic, the physical part didn't come till a little bit later,
Right,
right?
right.
We got you on the path. We got you on a structured eating plan that was curtailed to your life. We got you working on the inside, the healthy mindset, developing new habits. And you would agree that the running part, the exercise didn't come until we had you a little further down the road, because so many people think that they can exercise the weight off or outrun the fork, and it just doesn't work. Can
No,
you?
that's correct. I mean, I had lost, let's see, up to January of 2020, I had lost about 75 to 85 pounds at that point. And was under 200. I think I was around 190 or something like that. And then I quit drinking. And that dropped about 10 right off the bat. And then COVID happened. And I came to North Carolina and stayed at my mom's house for 90 days with her, because she was by herself, and what we had no idea what was going to go on. And so I just really started running more focusing on that more when I was down here. And man, let me tell you, it just fell off. I mean, I'd run down one side of the road, turn around, come back the other, and see parts of my butt laying everywhere. I mean, it was really, it was like the, fat particles falling off of me. It was amazing. And so that really helped. And in doing so, yeah, that was the biggest thing. I'll help you lose the weight, and then, let's lose the weight first, then go for it. And then I found, as I went along, the golf got better, everything else, that I did in my life got better, the sleeping better, going to the restroom better, which is important as we reach that big 60 number eventually. Remember, big 60 is no longer just a bunch of cookies that you used to get at the Winn-Dixie. But no, it's it's the truth though. But the thing about it is just that it really, it all ran together. It all mixed together. I mean, I hate to say that COVID was a positive for me, but it sort of was, because
Yeah.
it allowed me to focus. And it changed my focus, and it got me to do one thing. There's a song by the Eagles off of one of their albums in the 90s. I think it was the Hell Freezes Over album, but it was called Learn to Be Still. And that's one of the things that you taught me. Learn to be still. Just wait. It's coming. It's coming. I promise you. But just be still. Don't try to rush it. Don't, don't eat 7 times a day thinking that's going to do what you're going to add, help you out a little bit. No, you got to stick with this. And that's one of the most important facets that you were able to, to get across to me.
Right. And you know what? I really appreciate it. Well, and it's because you were so open to coaching. So let me ask you a question. So, we've talked a lot because I was coaching you. Can you kind of share I'm just really curious, what do you feel like was the best way I supported you? Like what do you and I worked together,
Right.
and how did you feel supported by me?
At the beginning, gosh knows, you bugged the living dickens out of me. And it wasn't anything, it wasn't personal. It was just, it was like, I had to reel you in, because it's like, Margaret, I got it. I'm secretariat. I got the bit between my teeth. I'm going to do this. And, you would call me up, all coaching me up and everything. I got it. All right. I know what I got to do. Just, and that was kind of that was the thing that was, and the thing is, once I got to where, I was losing and we didn't have to talk so much and whatnot, and it's like, I got to missing it. Cause like, dang, I wish Margaret was coach, and so I would call you and go, all right, just, give me the word of the day or whatever. But I think that was what developed the relationship between us. I mean, when you go to coach somebody or teach somebody like I did for 14 years, you don't know what your person has until they get out right there in front of you. So you have to kind of go in, hard charging St. George after the dragon and whatnot. But a good coach and a good teacher, they'll finally, okay, all right, well, I know I know who I need to push. I know who I don't need to push, and I know who I kind of need to push a little bit, but sort of do it. Yeah. And I think once we got that established, I think everything was absolutely perfect after that.
Right. Right. And it's kind of like when you have a baby and you don't really
Well, I
realize
don't
it.
know, but
Well, let me just tell you.
okay, well, give me,
So
go ahead.
When you have a baby and they're getting ready to walk,
Yeah.
you're like right there, and you're kind of like, okay, you got them under the arms and you're kind of directing them. Anytime that you're starting on a new journey to health, and it is a journey, it's not a quick fix. I'd love to talk about that, but it's like you kind of got them on their waist and you're helping them, or you're holding them with their hands, and then they take a step or two and they fumble, and you go over and you pick them up, set them back up again, and you kind of like stay with them. But the whole time they're trying to push your hand away. What they don't know is if they get sideways and hit the coffee table, they're done for. So you stay there, and maybe you start out, holding them under the arms, and then you go around and you go in front of them and you're kind of leading them a little bit. And then they kind of start to get the hang of it. It's kind of how, I work my coaching. And then it's like, okay. And you think in the beginning, I got this. But you don't really understand that you don't got it.
Right.
And so then eventually you can kind of like you said, pull back a little bit and just kind of let you, run the way that you're going to run, but still gently. I always kind of kept my hand on your back, always, even now, we'll have conversations and go back and forth. Like, what do you think about this? Right.
Right. Oh yeah, very much so. I mean, I'll call you up and go, Margaret, I gained 2 pounds. It's okay, Chris, that you gained 2 pounds. Go run. It's fine. It won't be there tomorrow. I promise. Water. It's okay.
So would you say the coaching and the support was the best part of the program for you?
Oh, by far. That's the biggest thing. I can show you how to write anything. I can teach you, I can show you all this other stuff. But, it still comes down to the same 3 things that they taught me in Coast Guard boot camp. I will tell you how to do it. I will show you how to do it. And then I will expect you to do it. Okay.
Yep.
All right. It's if I tell you how to do it, but I don't show you how to do it. Okay. What good have I done? All right. I'm just letting you have to you would figure that out on your own. And the other thing that you have taught me is expectations. That's an important one as well. And that comes from baby steps. Okay, here's our expectations. What is the average? I think that we lose a month, 5 pounds, or 5 to 10 pounds, whatever it is.
8 to 10 pounds a month.
Yeah. And
disclaimer, different disclaimer. Everybody's different.
Right, exactly. I think the first month I lost
A
I think
lot.
I lost 15 pounds like the first month or something like that. But again, it's taken 6 years, okay, from the day that I decided to do this to now, to get to where I am at the weight that I am, being comfortable, being able to play the golf, to run, to wear the clothes I want to wear, what have you. And you know, and a lot of people, you know, that come in the shop where I work, you know, they're like, they can't believe, you know, that I'm 57 years old. You know, you know, is, how are you 57? I said, I don't know, born in 1966, you know, I just how I lucked out, you know. But it's but you know, but because of what you taught us or taught me, you know, and I've passed it on down to my mom and whatnot. And you know, whenever I, you know, when I would come home, you know, from Michigan and whatnot, you know, she would cook according to what I, you know, wanted, needed, and whatever, and how I needed it cooked. You know, the biggest thing that I've had with her is like, don't add, do not add, just do what I do exactly what I want. Don't add. Add is bad. Okay. But I mean, you're from an Italian family. You know how how
Yes.
you're used to Sunday dinners and everything with more food to feed an army. I mean, you know, more pasta than you can, you know, shake a stick at.
Yeah. But it's all about moderation, right? It's not
Right,
about
it
never
is.
having it.
Right.
That's, that's where I think people kind of get in trouble. It's not about deprivation. It's like once you get to that healthy weight, it's really about if there's something that you really enjoy eating, if you eat a hamburger every once a week, that should be no problem. Now, if you're doing it every day, 2 or 3 times a day, we're talking about a whole different ball game. And it so much of it is, and Chris, I just saw you do so well with this. So much of it is mindset and literally making a decision, not just to lose weight, but really what you've done is become the dominant force in your own life and focus on wellness, and longevity. And I just really want to touch upon this if you don't mind. I get a lot of questions about the weight loss injections, and I'm not opposed to it because there are some people that have pre-existing conditions that if you feel like that's going to get you on the path, but a weight loss injection is not going to get you to where you've gotten. It could maybe get you started and shut the noise off, because it's harder for some people to turn the noise off or reaction to triggers, or whatever. But to think that it's the be all end all, it is not. It does. I am working with some clients now that are utilizing the injections, but they're also utilizing our program because of the nutrition. And their mindset is, it's just for a month or two to get me on the path. And some people need that. Many people in our society, do not want that. But, I just think that when you go into something like this, like what you've done, is you don't want to just think about that number on the scale. I was playing pickleball today with some gals,
Right.
and they're like, we've gotten away from the scale. Because isn't it, you said it so well, when you want to change your health, when you want to reach a healthy weight, and you really said it very well, is you want to see, how are you sleeping? How often are you eating? Do you have somebody holding you accountable, right? Like I was cracking the whip on you,
Mm-hmm.
are you developing new habits? That's what transformation is all about, it's about becoming, right? It's not about getting away from just a number on a scale. It is about becoming. And I mean, Chris, I can't say this enough. I feel so honored that I was the gal you picked to really walk this out with you, because I don't ever want to minimize what you have accomplished, because you were in a pretty bad spot.
Yeah.
You were in a very slippery, dangerous slope, right? As
Yeah.
we age, the doctor that I work with, Dr. Ray, says we're on two paths. We're either on the path to disease or we're on the path to health. And we can be on the path to disease for a certain amount of time, and maybe nothing, bad's happening to us, but we're overweight, we're unhealthy, we're not sleeping, we're stressed out. we're working in a 9 to 5 job that we hate, which is not health, right? I mean, it's
Right.
very unhealthy.
Right.
And you can be in that non-sick state, but as you age, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And you were able to get off that road and get onto this road. You literally took a left turn and put yourself in an amazing spot. So I really want to congratulate you and thank you for allowing me to walk this out with you, because you're doing an amazing job.
Well, thank you a whole lot. And I mean, it is, it's getting on that mindset. I mean, and I want to kind of end with this. Zoom is telling me we've got 9 minutes and 26 seconds. But
I'm drinking my essential amino acids.
I got you. I understand. I'm drinking my essential coffee as we go along, because it is essential in my world. But the big thing is that 6 times a day, you eat 6 times a day. Yeah, I eat 6 times a day. And I have it, set where it is not, it's not where it's an inconvenience. I know, I mean, and we'll just make it easy. If I get up at 5 and eat at 5:30, I know that at 8:30, 11:30, 2:30, 5:30,
Yep.
and 8:30, I'm going to eat, and that's it. And I'm not going to go down there and eat full meals. I mean, I'm not going for double helpings on anything like that, but it's the 2 important ones are the first one and the last one. And then
Yep.
and then in between the small things, the nuts the pistachios. I'm a pistachio fool. Anything like that that's just that will work to meet the requirements that we need, and that's what is able to get it. And people look at that and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you mean that's what?" Yeah, that's exactly what I do. But it keeps the metabolism running. You've got to keep that that coal fire stoked, so to speak. And that was always the hardest thing about it. We got 3 minutes,
Chris,
according to my
what
timer.
size did you start? Wait, really quick. What size did you start at?
What size?
Yeah, yeah. Do you remember what your waist was when you started? Or how much did you weigh?
I was 264. I was kind of a 43 to 44 waist. Jacket, I was up in the 46, 48. Shirts, I was about 17 and a half on the neck, or extra large, in my golf shirts. Golf shorts were like 40, 42, something like that. Now I'm medium in all of my golf shirts. I'm at 15 and a half neck. Coat, I'm down to a 30. I'm down to a 38 regular in my jacket. I have a lot of suits, and so I've had to get a lot of tailoring going on. My tailor loves to see me walk in the door. So I mean, it's really made a difference. I posted a picture earlier today on Facebook of where I was to where I am now, and it's really it's uncanny. My mom's like, "Oh my God, you look terrible." I said, "Gee, that's a nice thing to say to your son." She said, "Well, you did."
Wait, so what do you weigh now?
I know I'm not supposed to do this, but I went ahead and weighed this afternoon. I weigh 166 right now.
Oh my God, that's
About 3
phenomenal.
months ago, I'd actually gotten a little too thin. I was down to about 153, but with it being at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when I weighed, you can kind of take about 5 pounds off of that just from what I've eaten today and whatnot. If I would have weighed this morning, I'd have been at 161, 162, probably, somewhere like that,
Wow.
so it would have, so I'm right around 160. So
Chris, that is impressive. So I have a question for you. So I'm so curious because I love to learn about my clients and how I can better serve them. So when you came to me, besides the weight, what do you feel like the biggest struggle was? And do you feel like we addressed it and helped you with it?
I think the biggest struggle was me not, I don't know. I think the biggest struggle might have been, not eating as much portion, I guess, is what I'm getting at. It's not eating it. I mean, because like I was eating 3 times a day, but they were, pretty big meals and whatnot, and then breaking that into 6 times a day with the two, with breakfast and dinner, and then with, with whatever in the middle. And it was that was a big, I think that was the biggest struggle that I had. I remember the first couple of weeks I would go into the shop, because I was at Seven Lakes, and I would, no, I was at school. I'm sorry. I was at school, and I would tell, the people I would say, "Gosh, knows I'm about to starve to death." And they're like, "Well, quit thinking about food." It's like, well, it's hard to stop thinking about food, or whatever. But that, and the one thing that you taught me that was really cool, that it makes absolute sense. But if you get hungry in between during your 3 hour period, say, for example, just to make it easy, say, you eat at noon, you got to wait till 3 to eat again. Well, it's 1:30 and you're ready to, chew the fat off your arm. You are, you drink water, and that really helped. All the little tips and tidbits and whatnot, that really helped the whole situation.
And you know what I call that? You came in with unhealthy habits.
Right.
And we showed you how to have new habits,
right,
which you're still executing on today, because I just saw you drink your water.
Right.
That's a huge habit of health.
Right.
Huge.
So, well, I
appreciate
you. I appreciate you taking your time. I know today was pickleball day for you, and you went out and probably wore those old ladies out that way. But again, you're a very dear friend whom I love greatly, and I hope that that everything continues to prosper for you out there. I'm always on the Margaret McGrath mountain, screaming high hopes and whatnot for you out this way. You have an open invitation to come in one day. Us do this in a room together, or we're in the same place. Come out and play golf, and you can take my general manager out and whip him in pickleball or something. But I do appreciate you being on here with us, Margaret. And I hope that you I still continue to wish you really, really good luck, and thank you so much for everything you've given me.
Thank you, and thank you for allowing me to walk this out with you, link arms with you, and we're getting it done.
That's right. We are. Thank you again, sweetheart.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. You're the best. Mwah.
All right, that was Margaret McGrath. She is, as I said, she was my health coach, and she helped us out and got us down to where we are now. And I do thank her for everything that she's done for us. This is going to be it for today. I just want to let you know, next week we will be live over at Jamie Moss's office. That's right, the Remax Realty here in Rockingham, interviewing her and her team. They just won a fantastic award. Let me see, I've got 1:44 according to Zoom. So let me tell you what the award was. She won the really, really neat award she won the Remax Platinum Award, Remax Platinum Club level for 2023. And she and her team are just do great work here in the community, community oriented and whatnot. So we're going to sit down with them and have a half hour with them next week. So we thank you again for joining the Chris McDonald Podcast. We are now on a YouTube channel, so be sure to look us up at Chris McDonald Podcast. And we thank you a whole lot. Have a good evening, and we'll see you very soon.